And in this short video, I want to talk about LuxaCrown. And so LuxaCrown for me is a really phenomenal addition to DMG's line of products designed to make temporaries or provisional restorations. And that distinction between temporaries and provisionals will be important as we talk about LuxaCrown. And so when I think about LuxaCrown, for me, where that fits a really phenomenal niche in my dental practice is when I actually need something that's a longer term interim or provisional restoration. So, we classically think of a temporary as something we're gonna do. We're gonna prep the tooth, we're gonna make this temporary crown, it's gonna be on the tooth a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks would be the longest, and then we're gonna take it off and put the crown on that we got back from the laboratory. And for situations and procedures like that, anything in the LuxaTemp line is gonna be a really fantastic alternative. But there are lots of clinical situations where I need to make a restoration that isn't that temporary, and I like to refer to them as provisional restorations or interim restorations. And that's where LuxaCrown really fills a need for me that before I didn't really have a material that would work in my office. So what will those clinical situations be? So they might be patients who I need to do a restoration on a tooth, but then they're going to go into orthodontic therapy and the teeth are going to get moved, and we don't want the shape of the crown, the final crown, to be determined until we've put the teeth in the right place. Patients who are having extensive implant dentistry, where we might use a provisional or an interim restoration to replace a missing tooth, but that interim restoration has to be in place 3 months, 6 months, 9 months because of healing or grafting, and we need something that's going to be really durable in the mouth. Really often for me when I do aesthetic cases, I'm going to put people in interim restorations, and I want the patient to be able to wear those for a period of time and make sure that they work phonetically, that they don't develop a lisp, and that they like them. They like the size and the shape and the contour. And we're not actually going to fabricate the final veneers or the final crowns until the patient has really had a chance to sort of test drive the interim restorations. There's lots of clinical situations, and then of course there's always the circumstance where patients need a fair amount of dentistry, and they ask us to phase that dentistry over time so that they can work it out from an economic point of view. And so before LuxaCrown, those types of longer term interim or provisional restorations, either I was going to work with a laboratory, and you're going to pay somewhere between $30 and maybe $60 a unit or a tooth for those kinds of lab processed provisional restorations, or you're going to make traditional temporaries with traditional bisacryls, and then you worry about how many times will the patient be in your office because you're going to have to do them again. And really that makes most of us get a little uncomfortable because the maintenance of that just becomes hard to manage in a dental practice. And so having LuxaCrown in my office really streamlines those longer term interim restorations. I don't have to involve a laboratory, which means that I don't have to make a set of temporaries and take impressions so that I have a way to send things to the laboratory and keep the patient comfortable until I get back a set of lab process, so that, and that could be milled PMMA or today printed materials, or, those types of materials, and I don't have the cost of that laboratory expense. So now when I'm making that first set of restorations, I'm actually making long-term durable interim restorations in my office. Fewer appointments for the patient, lower lab costs, and I have the confidence that those things will last in my practice. And so LuxaCrown really fits a very interesting niche in my dental practice, and we have not had a material to fit that previously. So I'm super excited about LuxaCrown.